Hey, it's Empress Rose, and welcome to our reading of the week. Well, for whatever week you find this. We are starting with Botanical Inspiration, seeing what kind of energies we're looking at this week. And I do have my little scrying ball here, and here is what it's showing me. It's showing me the Atlantic Ocean, North Africa, Spain, and some kind of flag. So very global looking little ball here. It definitely looks like a globe, but it's situated on the Atlantic Ocean here. So we'll see if that has anything to do with anything going forward. How that fits in, if at all. Oh my goodness. These want to like come out in a whole paragraph or nothing at all. They're either going to tell you everything or they're going to keep their mouth shut. There's no little hints here. Okay, we got one more. Okay, this seems we flipped around. All right, we have lily. Very spiritual flower, very powerful flower. Majesty and virtue. The lily is the emblem rare of many virtues, good and rare. That's reminding me of the Maya Angelou quote. It's something, I'm going to butcher it. So it's something about the greatest virtue is courage, because without courage, we can't be honest, we can't be true, we can't be loyal, we can't do any of the other virtues unless we have the courage to withstand the blowback and the frustration of other people when we stay true to our virtues and our values. So majesty and virtue, I think the power of this card is coming through very clearly here. Lily, innocence, resurrection. And then we have camellia. This is such a powerful flower as well. Both of these, both of them white flowers, both of them very powerful as far as their like presence, in my opinion, is very powerful. Destiny. It is not the stars to hold our destiny, but in ourselves. And that's Shakespeare. Camellia. So, sense of destiny, majesty, and virtue. Very lofty ideals here for this week. Very lofty ideals. And I love the destiny, like something destined to happen, something. Thinking of The Last Kingdom and how Uhtred always says, destiny is all. These moments in which we meet our destiny. All right, these cards too, they either want to whisper in your ear or they want to give you the whole story. Okay, we've got, they're turning around and then going back in. Some sort of secret, some kind of secret. All right. Well, that sounds fun. Okay, so we have the ever-unfolding rose. It's happening for you, not to you. Cracked open, keeping your heart open. There is difficulty. There is a sensation of sort of being stretched, being pulled apart. Not pulled apart like pulled apart, but like being stretched. I'm thinking of sort of like a watsu or shiatsu massage or something where they're stretching you and they're pulling you, some sort of yoga, only the universe is like making you be flexible and pulling you. So like a deep tissue massage. It hurts, but it's also for your benefit. You're going to feel better when you leave that table. So it's gonna release a lot of energy. Our muscles are like batteries. They hold and store energy. So a lot of times people will cry when they get a massage, especially if it's been a while, because it's releasing all of those moments that you couldn't cry and you held it in and you stored it in your stiff muscles. That's what I'm seeing here is more of a like a deep tissue massage, something that's a little bit difficult. But overall, you're going to leave the situation feeling much better, much more relaxed, much more open. So being open to maybe some some difficulties, being open to the possibility that they might be exactly what you need right now. And I feel like this is dovetailing with last week's reading, in which we were talking about something that was coming to heal you, but it might make you flinch a little bit. And that's what I'm seeing here, a continuation of that. Only now we're well underway. We're well underway into this process where this is not feeling very comfortable, but that comes at the end. That's after. So keeping your heart open in difficulty. This deep tissue massage, you're fine. The massage therapist knows what they're doing. There is something very sacred about this, but also unknown. There's a unpredictability to the situation. I want to say like time. Maybe time has kept a secret. Time has hidden something. And it's uncomfortable. It's uncomfortable for you, but it was with this destiny too. It just seems like something is meant for you, but the process of opening up to it has been very difficult. This isn't like we're opening up to like abuse or something like that. This is like pain with a purpose, like a deep tissue massage. All right. And then our moonology cards here. New moon in Scorpio, work through your fears, and third quarter moon, adjustments are required. So the new moon in Scorpio here. The new moon to me indicates setting of an intention without any knowledge or certainty about where something goes or what it means. So, but there's a way in which you're trying to not be defensive, right? In a deep tissue massage, we're not going to, this is what I do, but we're not going to freeze up to prevent the pain, right? We're going to allow that massage to come in. We're not going to be defensive and freezing up against this thing. So working through your fears though, and anxieties, understanding where they're coming from, understanding maybe some of the root causes, some subconscious issues, some history behind them. So yeah, working through your fears, looking at them, inviting them in, asking them what do they have for you today? What do they want to talk about? Thanking them for their concern for you and for your life. But also, this could be in a way with this ever unfolding rose, a sense of keeping these fears and anxieties. I wouldn't say putting them to rest or ignoring them. There's a sense where they need to be paid attention to here. Working through your fears. They need to be paid attention to, not obeyed and not cowed to, but paid attention to. What are they? There's a message in them because you're working with them. You're not, it doesn't say ignore your fears. It doesn't say dismiss your fears. It doesn't say mock your fears. It's like work with your fears. So there's something here. There's something here to work with. There's something very useful here. So even though it's difficult and it's stretching you, there's something very useful for you to understand and work through. And then adjustments are required. So it seems like I can't tell if that's internal or external. Like, do you need to tweak something in your environment, change something, change the rules of engagement with something, change the situation, or shift your expectations? Adjustments are required. We'll leave it at that. And then we have play. So this to me is an open-ended sense of not grasping at certainty. That could be part of the fears here. Being open to uncertainty, not needing to nail anything down, but just enjoying a moment. This can be celebration, celebrating an achievement, having fun, resting, not being so serious. It says have fun, celebrate, don't be so serious. And I think, we may have to do some work in order to get to that don't be so serious place. I think just acknowledgement of our anxieties and our fears would be a good step. So it's interesting because we have fear and play. We're being asked to focus on playfulness, on celebration, on achievements, and not Not letting this anxiety cramp us up. Not letting this anxiety freeze us. Even in an uncomfortable situation, bringing in some playfulness, some open-endedness, and not necessarily letting the anxiety or fears sort of take over and freeze you. I'm seeing like 4 of Pentacles, and from the Crow Tarot, no, from the Crow Oracle deck, I'm seeing that like the crow and the fox. Gotta make sure these are right. I've already shuffled thoroughly, but at a standoff and needing to be creative in order to move forward from something. So adjustments require that maybe you needing to kind of shift expectations, and it kind of also might need to be something in your environment that isn't quite working and just needs a little tweak. All right. From the bottom of the deck, 10 of Voices. End of a difficult situation. The 10 are completion, voices, painful situation, end of a painful situation. The pinnacle of the discomfort that the situation can bring. After this comes in healing. After this comes in a sense of safety, or can, if we allow it psychologically, to come in a sense of safety. I think this work through your fears could be coloring that too, like an end of a difficult situation, end of a difficult argument perhaps, or end of where painful things have been said. But the end comes through, and there's a sense of like psychologically needing to shift gears in order to move forward. So I think that correlates with working through your fears. Past, present, inner landscape, what's at issue, environment, to-do list, possible outcome. Okay. There's a lot of materials here, or pentacles. So this could be relating to a work issue or just something very concrete, something very real. We have the Page of Materials, which to me always talks about like a real child, a real person, or possibly someone who's beginning a job or something. It's very 3D. A lot of these things can be very mystical and intellectual and emotional, but this one's the 3D. In the recent past, we have the Magician. So wanting to make something happen, wanting to create something, bringing all the elements together. Having all the elements. And I guess when I saw this Magician, I also thought of someone who's a little bit tricky too, right? Because magicians never, for me, do they usually talk about illusion. But when I saw this one, I did have a sense that there might be some illusion at play here. But there is a sense of having all of the elements available, having all of the, having collected all of the bath bombs and there's something that's ready to move forward. Plans. It's not just plans, but it's a collection of necessary elements, wanting to make something happen, wanting to create something. So in a way, we have the Magician here wanting to create something, really thinking about it, and then we have Page of Materials. So it's got at least a metaphor or a sense of wanting to have a baby, and then now we have the baby. Wanting to create a new life, and now we have the new life. Wanting to find a new job, and now having the new job in which you are the new person. Working with like sort of manifestation ideas. I mean, and to me, those are not black and white ideas. They're not 100%, you know. I think for long periods of time, many look for the formula, the recipe for life. I'm not 100% sure there's a guaranteed recipe for life. I think there might be gists and vibes and potentials, but a lot of things can come through to derail a manifestation, and they're not all internal. So So anyway, someone dreaming of having a vision, having a dream, and working towards it, putting it together. Yeah, putting it together. And then we have current situation, page of materials. So this can be, someone who's new at something. This could be a new coworker. This could be a new baby, a new person in your life. This can be the real child. The page of materials can be the actual child that is here. Again, we have this idea of just at the beginning of a manifestation process, envisioning where something being on your mind, being able to see something that you want, or someone sees something that they want, something that they want to grow into. And there's like a path, like an apprentice. It's less student vibes, more new at a job vibes, more new at something vibes. The new person. There's a new person here. Maybe a brand new person or a new person for your job. I feel like we've had the page of materials recently. So there's a new person here. In your hopes, your fears, your inner landscape, you have 2 of materials. So you might be wanting or worried about being able to manage everything, juggle everything. There's a lot in the 2 materials. There's always a lot going on, and there's a sense of needing to manage and juggle 2 different realities, 2 different people, 2 different jobs. And how exactly are you going to manage all of this? So this could be something, this could be one of the fears that you need to work through as far as like, how are you going to manage everything? This page of materials, if you're new at a job, but you still haven't finished your old job, how are you going to manage that? If you're moving and you're in one house and moving to another house, how are you going to sort of make that move and manage it? So there could be a real fear of having too much on your plate and needing to balance it and feeling a little bit out of control, a little bit unsteady on your feet, and not quite sure what to do with all of these resources that you have. So you could be worried. Like if you just started a business, you could be sitting here, which the page of materials could indicate. You could be worried about, well, how am I going to manage all of these expectations and all of these orders and all of these new clients or all of these, how am I going to manage all of this? You may not need to. It just may be a fear of like, you may not actually end up with all that many at the beginning of something, all that many projects or all that much to do, but you're worried about it. You're kind of looking ahead. Like, how do I manage all of this? This could be like also managing 2 people. We have like a 2 of emotions or 2 of cups coming in later. Like as far as a hope is hoping, well, the hope and the fear is pretty much similar here. Like hoping you can manage everything, worried you can't manage everything. Hoping you can manage, 2 kids, worried you can't manage 2 kids. Hopefully you can manage 2 jobs, worried you can't manage 2 jobs. So that's what's on your mind. That's your internal landscape, is feeling like there's quite a bit on your plate and not 100% sure you've got this. You're not sure you've got this. What's that issue here? 6 of voices. This is like not moving on. This is really fascinating that this is here. A very memorable personal reading this showed up in recently for one of you all. But it was fascinating. It's not often I see that there. So not moving on. Not able to move on from something. So maybe not quitting something, and maybe you get a new job, but you don't quit the old job, and that's why you're like really struggling with like, oh my gosh, there's going to be a lot on my plate. Or maybe you start a new relationship without quitting the old relationship, and you're like, oh my gosh, how am I going to handle this? Or there could just be someone, this page of materials or something, it just might not be letting go. There's someone that's not moving on. They don't even seem curious about moving on or like see that as a possibility. They might come to the edge of moving on and be like, well, that would be an interesting journey. Back to home base here, back to my comfort zone, back to where I want to be. I'm not going to quite move on. I feel like whoever this is and the energy around it is that they don't even the words move on are not entering their vocabulary. It just seems like a field trip to the harbor. They're not getting in a boat. What are you talking about? They're not getting in the boat. We're just walking around the harbor. We're not actually getting on this boat and leaving here. Like, it wouldn't occur to them. So if you said, okay, and now let's move on, let's get on this ferry and go away, this person or this situation or this energy would be like, wait, what? We're doing what now? So it's just not occurring to them. In this situation, it's not considered at this point. It would be a rather shocking idea, really. This person's just not, if you think someone's like moving on, forgetting about you, that's not crossing their mind. If you want them to move on from the topic, has not occurred to them that they would move on from the topic, and that might be a good idea. It's like whatever nudges they may get from the universe to move, either physically or emotionally, they're not moving. This could also be like finding a new place, wanting to move there, already planning out like how you're going to manage everything, or worrying about how you're going to manage everything. But this is like, you're not actually going to be moving, at least not right now. There's not a move that's happening. And someone is very oblivious to that. I mean, they might be curious. They might go look at the ferry. We're going to the ferry landing to just look at ferries. Like, that's it. That's all we're doing. So yeah, that's what's going on. Is someone here is maybe really oblivious about the plan, or perhaps it's just not time yet for anyone to either really move or energetically move on. But there's like a sussing out of the situation. So yeah, we're coming to the edge, but not going over it. In your environment, we have 3 of Pentacles, or 3 of Materials. This is working with other people. This is a bunch of, like, if you are like moving or buying a house or something, this is, you've got your broker, your real estate agent, your loan officer, and you, right? And you're all working together and doing different things and making different choices and decisions. 3 of Materials is co-workers. 3 of Materials is consultations, hiring experts to work with them. You're not handing over the reins entirely, but you're working with them. You're working closely with someone. So there's a lot of work in your environment. No wonder this 2 of Materials has you wondering if you can manage everything. There's just a lot of work in the environment, or a team that you're working with, a team project, something like that, building something together. And everyone like kind of takes a turn. This isn't like everybody working. You're not like working on the railroad where everyone's like in sync doing the same thing. I'm just having an imagination of what working on the railroad is. I've never done it nor seen it actually done outside of a musical. So you're not all working in sync though, but everyone's got like, okay, now I handed you the paperwork and now you have to do stuff, and now you hand it over to this person, they do stuff. And so there's like sort of this weaving where everyone is taking turns with like the papers or the task or the job, and it's moving between different people. So that's what's going on in your environment. You may not be aware of it, you may be aware of it, but there's like a team of people working here. And then your to-do list is very interesting. There's all this sort of work, the Magician, and I feel like the element the Magician has all the elements, right? And the element we're really focusing on is the money, materials, pentacles, earth element. Very earthy, the earth, the new person to earth, or the new earth person. And then all of this like juggling energy, this not moving on energy. Possibly someone is waiting for the go-ahead on something with the 6 of Voices. That's why they're standing on the edge and not actually poised to move forward, because they haven't gotten the go-ahead. So if you're expecting someone else to be moving forward on something, I would kind of go check the paperwork and make sure you sent that email that said go ahead, that you did what because someone might be waiting for you to give the go ahead on moving forward with something. And so I would just make sure that you communicated what they were waiting to hear before that happens. So you might be waiting on something, but they might be waiting on you as well. So especially with this sort of teamwork and everyone taking a turn, that's suddenly what that kind of looks like. So your to-do list here is Two of Emotions, Two of Cups. Connect deeply with someone, possibly this page of materials, a child, a new coworker, someone new, really connecting very emotionally. Now in this one, people are coming from two different directions, two different worlds. This is a moment. This is very much a conversation because these two cannot stay underwater forever. But this is very much a moment and a conversation of deep connection. So maybe initiating a conversation, a very deep conversation with someone, allowing it to happen, being present for it when the deep conversation starts happening, when you're connecting on a deep emotional level with someone, being available for that. I don't feel like this to-do list is like a to-do list, like where you're on your day and you're like, now we're going to have a deep emotional conversation. That's the next thing on the list. And you're having, you're initiating it, you're forcing it, you're having it some way or another. But whatever situation we're talking about, like this ending of this emotionally difficult, painful situation, be present. Take the opportunity for deep connection with someone when you get it. Yeah, allowing yourself to do a deep dive with someone else. So it's very much with another person. And allowing that deep emotional connection or just conversation and not resisting it. But when it arises, flowing with it and going deep with that. Yeah. Possible outcome, Six of Inspiration, victory. Victory. This is also like being the star of something. Like this is victory and you are celebrated for it. You're the main character. And Six of Inspiration, that's what it is. You're sort of the main character. You won, you conquered something, everybody else gets the benefit of it. So the idea is, right, this is the star of the show. They performed very well. And here, the backup singers, they benefit from that too, right? How are they going to benefit when when the star or whoever's being highlighted right now, there could be an ensemble and then, you go out for your solo and everybody's really happy with it because it makes the whole group look good when you look good. And when you do a good job, the whole group looks good and has better cohesion. So, if the soloist for this song steps out and does a crappy job, hopefully everyone back here is like, okay, you know what? We'll hit that in rehearsal again next time. It'll be fine, but so there's, but that's not what's happening. Like you're going out. The result is that you really end up shining and the whole group benefits from that and is very happy with that. Just how you would be if someone from your ensemble really nailed that note that maybe they've struggled with sometimes. They really hit that note, they really nail it, and the whole ensemble like just really does a good job and really, all the reviews are great and all of that. And so you'd be pretty proud to be part of that team as well. So, but this is like, I think this is you really shining here and really shining here, and the whole group feels better about it, feels really good about it, and it benefits everybody. So yeah, a sense of moving on, but really haven't moved on. Some sort of deeper connection needing to happen and feeling that willingness to be vulnerable, that willingness to engage with that, terrifying as it is. You maybe thought it was over, but it's not. But it's coming to an end. Whatever difficult situation this is, it is coming to an end. And I think that end is that you have the victory. You have. Oy, oy, oy. All right. And again, we have, maybe I'm just like really good at shuffling today. And the cards are like, I'm sorry. You're so good at shuffling that we just can't leave your hands. All right, this one. Rabbit spirit. We are in the year of the rabbit still for a while yet with Chinese astrology. Rabbit spirit, now is a lucky time. And in the last reading in my scrying ball, there was a sad rabbit, a sad bunny. It cracked me up. Like, what the hell, scrying ball, sad bunny? But here we have, we've turned that frown upside down. A fertile time, a lucky time, an abundant time. Rabbit, the luckiest animal in the zodiac, in the Chinese zodiac. In a lot of cultures, I mean, not to mix my cultures, but I'm going to, rabbits, you weren't allowed to eat them because they were protected by Aphrodite or other, and that's just for the Greeks, but there were others that I can't remember right now, where rabbits, easy to eat, easy prey. No, the gods said no, not allowed. They're just a little too easy to take advantage of. So rabbit spirit, now is a lucky time. So, and I want to say also a protected time. And I like it with this destiny here. So now is a lucky time. Productive, abundant. It's very much a forward-looking time. She's got these two little baby bunnies here. It's a very cute card, really. And then we have butterfly spirit. Transformation is beautiful. Oh. Right, we had a lot about this transformation may be difficult for you. You may not enjoy it. But we did have a lot about working through your fears and the ever unfolding rose, something transforming. You're safe in it. And the other thing I was thinking about transformation is there's no shame in being a caterpillar. There's no shame in going in a cocoon. Make sure that, you know, when you're learning something, I think sometimes that's what stops people from wanting to learn, is that sense that they were wrong before, or were bad before, or were worse before, and feeling embarrassed about that. So every time we learn something, you know, it would be terrible if then we felt like, oh, well, I learned that and now I realize how stupid I was, and blah, 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 blah. So, so making sure that we're being very gentle on ourselves as we transform. Yes, you may be a butterfly now, but it was not wrong to be a caterpillar, and it was not wrong to go in your cocoon, and it wasn't wrong to do any of those things. So those were all part of this. And I think I'm hearing another Maya Angelou quote, when we know better, we do better, right? And if we can take shame out of that equation, it would help a lot. And I think maybe that's a little bit of work through your fears too. Maybe it's fear of being wrong, fear of being proven wrong. All right, from the Wild Kuan Yin. This has got to be the most shufflingest reading I've ever done. So from the Wild Kuan Yin here, your time will come. Some souls are slower to blossom, building their inner beauty over time until just the right moment. Then the fullness of their beauty, power, and grace is revealed, providing powerful healing, medicine for those in need of comfort and hope. So I think, right? This is the fullness of your beauty, power, and grace being revealed, or, you know, whatever equivalent we're looking at this week. And this is going to provide others comfort and hope. Your victory is a benefit for everyone else as well. So, all right. Thank you for joining me for this reading, and we'll chat again next week. Bye.